What's up, Unlocking Your Inner Strength listeners? How would you like to know how much your time is actually worth in monetary value? And I'll give you a hint. If you don't know this, you're pissing away a lot of your valuable time. Well, I have good news for you. I've put together a special report about time mastery that's normally $45, but since you're a loyal listener to the show, you can get it for only $10 at unlockingyourinnerstrength.com/time.
You're listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you want to step into your greatness, you've come to the right place. Here is your host, the human strength expert, Kyle Newell.
What's up, everybody? It's Kyle from Unlocking Your Inner Strength and Newell Strength. Once again, this is the Unlocking Your Inner Strength podcast, episode number 79. Going to go over some mindset stuff in a second, but today's topic, when we're going to get to the training, is about density training and how to value your time within your training. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, I'm not in a cave. This is actually my office. You can see behind me is the wood-burning stovepipe. So I moved my desk closer to that. It's been really cold here in New Jersey, but I got a little fire going back there. Starting out the week is always tough when it comes to having the right mindset. A lot of times we break momentum going into the weekend, or coming out of the weekend, I should say. We've slowed down. We've gotten some family time. And you combine that with the fact that each week it seems like it might be an uphill battle, uphill climb. And the fact that our brain is hardwired for the negative, it can be tough to get the momentum going at the beginning of a week. So what you have to realize is greatness is a choice. It's not a matter of circumstance. It's simply a matter of deciding if you want to be great or not. Nobody was born great. Okay, we're all born uniquely and individually. But greatness is not waiting for all the lights to be green. It's not waiting for the big break. It's a choice. I just started rereading Good to Great by Jim Collins, and good is the enemy of great. Most people have good lives and they've made, good things happen, but they get comfortable then. There's no reason for them to step into greatness. A lot of times, if we don't believe that we can be great, it really comes down to our limiting beliefs and the story that we're telling ourselves. It's all a story. So, for example, there's, we're opening gym number 2. So I have 2 gyms. I have an online business. I have a private coaching business. I have a real estate investment business. So I have a lot of stuff going on. Now, my limiting belief personally is that I don't have enough time to do all this. And if I do it all at a very high level like I want to, I'm going to burn out. Now, that's just a story I'm telling myself. So I have to break that down and deconstruct it. Am I actually going to burn out? Am I limited by my time, or is it just a mismanagement of my energy and my recovery? So you have to find out what your limiting belief is and what the story you're telling yourself is, and change it till it's something that can help you move forward. Now, lastly, with mindset, something I went over with one of the guys that coaches me, Matt Fury, last week, which was really fascinating. When you think small, time expands. Meaning when you think in the moment, time expands. When you think big and you're thinking too far out, and these big audacious goals, time shrinks. Because you're always living for some future moment that never really comes, because when the future gets here, it's actually now. The future does not exist. And any thought that takes us out of the present moment makes time go by faster. Have you ever had a moment in life where you're kind of sitting, let's say, on the beach or near a fire, looking up at the stars, and you just wish that it could last forever and that things would slow down? And they do seem to slow down. Well, that's thinking small. That's being in the present moment. And that's the whole key to life, really, is to be in the present moment. Remember, all anxiety comes from thinking out into the future too much. The anxiety gap is the further out you think, the bigger your anxiety grows. So that's it for your mindset for episode number 79. Let's get into some training. Certain variables with your training. I believe that you should sweat every day. To me, that's non-negotiable because of how it affects your brain. Not as much for the body, but the brain. The body is almost secondary when it comes to training. But the variables that we have with training, okay, you have intensity. How hard are you working out? Okay, there's different formulas for intensity as well, but how hard are you working out? Frequency, how many times a week are you working out? Range of motion, if we're talking about strength training. Speed. And lastly, time, which is a huge one to me. Most people do not stick with a workout plan, or they don't ever start because A, they don't know what to do. So I'm going to tell you what to do and make it very simple here. Or B, they don't know where to fit it into their schedule. They're not sure where they can fit it into their schedule. And I get it. Time is the most valuable resource that we possess as humans. You're not making any more time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can never get it back. What's up, Unlocking Your Inner Strength listeners? How would you like to know how much your time is actually worth in monetary value? And I'll give you a hint. If you don't know this, you're pissing away a lot of your valuable time. Well, I have good news for you. I've put together a special report about time mastery that's normally $45, but since you're a loyal listener to the show, you can get it for only $10 at unlockingyourinnerstrength.com/time. Up above over here, I actually have my 2 jars of marbles. And each week I transfer a marble from the red bucket into the blue bucket. And that represents a week. I calculated out probably 8 or 9 years ago, if I live to 85 years old, hopefully I'll make it further than that, how many marbles I would need. And each week I transfer one over. So that kind of is a constant visual reminder of how precious my time is and how much I want to get done on my time on earth. Now, getting back to the training. So if you don't know what to do, so for example, with the online Rip Dads program, it's time-based workouts. Week 1, they start at 25 minutes. I give them 3 simple exercises to do. It might be a push-up, a goblet squat, and a carry. Now, with density training, this is something I learned long ago from Charles Staley, is how many rounds can you get in a certain amount of time? So you take the time issue off the table right away as far as, well, I might get stuck there. I might start dibble-dabbling. You set the clock. Nothing creates focus like intense time pressure, and that goes for your work too. Nothing creates focus like intense time pressure. So with density training, if it was to push up, the goblet squat, and a carry, let's say a suitcase carry, how many rounds can you get within that 25 minutes? Mark it down. So that's an objective measure. You can only improve that which you measure. You can only improve that which you measure. Now, within your density training, I would stick with, let's say you had 3 hard days a week, and I'm going to explain what you do on the other days of workouts. And hard is a relative term. Let's say there's 3 different workouts. Next week on day 1, so the second time through, you want to beat how many rounds you got in the allotted time. You can get a great workout in 25 minutes. You have to be efficient, and that's the way I try to work out now. If I get to an hour, I start getting anxious because I know how many other things I have to get done that day. Thus, I only go to the gym 3 times a week now. The other days, I take my kettlebell or my weight vest, and I'll do kettlebell swings or squats, push-ups, or I'll walk in my weight vest until I break a sweat, and then I'm done. So again, that's very efficient with my training. This morning, I did 300 kettlebell swings and about 100 push-ups. Broke a sweat. I was done. Took me less than 20 minutes. So with density training, if you go back a couple episodes when I was talking about how to select your exercises and how to make your exercise choices, all you have to do, and if you wanted to have 5 exercises, let's say in each workout, 5 movements, I should say, pick a pushing pattern, a pulling pattern, a knee dominant, meaning a squatting type pattern, a hip pattern, hip extension, so a deadlift type pattern, and a carry. Carries are fantastic. Probably if you only have time for one thing, just do carries. But you put those things in, you have 5 things, and you're going to go through that as many times as you can in 25, 30, 35, 40 minutes, whatever it is. I'll tell you this, most of you do not need to be working out for more than 50 minutes. 50 minutes is all you need. And I'll tell you this as well. The best conditioned athletes can't work out hard for more than 75 minutes straight, and that's world class. So if you're in the gym for 90 minutes, 2 hours, you're wasting your time. Then you obviously don't value your time. And be careful of anybody that doesn't value their own time because they're not going to value your time. A quick aside, I had a phone call with an old buddy from one of my old mastermind groups yesterday, and Devin was in the car, so we had it on speakerphone. And we were talking some business stuff, some marketing stuff he might be helping with. And It was very efficient, the conversation, very on point. And when we got done, Devin said, I like that he realizes how valuable your time is. He didn't waste your time. Well, I said, that's because, Dev, that he values his time as well. And we came from the same type of mindset, same group where get to the point, cut through the clutter and get it done. But this goes for your training as well. I'm a believer with the density training, things you can link onto that are do it in the morning. Too many variables can come up later in the day where you're going to get sidetracked and not going to get your workout in, especially if you have a family and you're busy and you have multiple responsibilities. Energy is going to be best, and you're going to get the hit with your brain. All these growth factors and hormones in this hormone cocktail that can only get into your brain through exercise. That's an evolutionary survival mechanism. Why not take advantage of them first thing in the morning? So now the whole day, your attitude is better. Everything is brighter. Everything is a little clearer to you. So do it in the morning. Now, one last thought I just had when I was talking about density training. If you didn't know what to do and you're going to attempt to do this at home, you want to get started with something and you're not sure about your push-up form or your squat form or any of these other types of things, simply get 2 bags, put some stuff in there until they're about anywhere between 20, 25 pounds each, and carry them around for 20 minutes. Now, obviously, you're going to have to set them down from time to time, but you could almost measure the distance you get in 20 minutes. A carry is going to work everything in your body, peripheral heart action. It's hitting your different core mechanisms because you're going to be on single-legged stances. You're going to be offset and unbalanced when you're on one leg at a time. Great for conditioning, and it's very simple. All you have to remember when you're doing carries, keep the chest up, shoulders back, stay proud. And that would be it. So that's what I got for you for density training for today. And mix it up with your training. It's a great way to train. I love training to the clock. Sometimes I'll train 5-minute rounds because I'm training more for jiu-jitsu now than anything. And even with that, it's how many rounds can I get in 5 minutes? And why 5 minutes? Because that's the length of a round in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But in the large scope of things, to recap, start with 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. See how many rounds you can get in with your exercise selection in that time period, and you're done for the day. Efficient, to the point, and the next time you get to that workout, you try to beat that number of circuits completed that you got in that time period. So that's all I have for episode number 79. Thanks for checking in today. If you haven't already done so, please leave a review on iTunes. That'll help me out greatly. Now you can find out more at newellstrength.com or kylenewell.com. Be back next week. Peace.
You've been listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you enjoyed the show, remember to subscribe, rate, and review us in iTunes.